Hello and welcome to Patched. I'm your host, Paul James. Today I'm joined by Matto Phillips. How are you, Matt?
Oh,
Blurry.
good. Yeah, but it went blurry for a second. That's why.
Always good timing at the beginning of the show. You doing all right?
Yeah, it's good. Almost Christmas time. So,
Lots of games.
Yeah, stay inside. Don't go out.
Exactly.
It's crazy.
It's too
It's
hot.
crazy.
Or it will
it's
get
crazy
too hot.
out there.
Oh, the shopping. That too.
Yes, people have forgotten how to drive because they've been locked up for so long.
Though I don't know that that's a COVID thing. I think that's just the closer you get to the city, the worse the drivers are thing.
Oh, well, there you go. We're just back to normal then. If that's
Yeah,
the
it's
case.
it's back to normal. It's back to normal.
Had
Who
it
cares about
easy. Had it
Omicron,
easy
Percy
for
8
50
and all that sort of stuff?
I've had it easy for 2 years with no one on the roads, and then all of a sudden, bang.
As of when we record this, I'm going into the city tomorrow, so I'm just
Oh dear.
keen to see how that goes. It'll be weird. I'm going in to see a movie. I'm going in to go see the Bond movie. No Time to Die. It's gonna be sweet.
People around.
Everyone,
Don't know
no,
what
it'll be
to do.
fine. It'll be fine. Everyone else is now going to see Spider-Man, so everyone's already been to see Bond. They've moved on. I'll walk into an empty cinema with my wife. It'll be great.
No, it'll be that one crazy Bond fan.
See
Who's
it for the
seen
20th time.
17 times.
Ugh. Yeah, possibly. Let's not rule it out. All right.
And his friends there, and you tell him all what happens in that, and you just want to go there and just
I'll hook him.
punch him in the face.
You'll deserve it. All right,
You
so we haven't done one of these episodes since, as we worked it out before, basically like October last year. BDD, before Damo's disappearance. I'm
Still
sure I
gotta
came
go-
up with an
still
acronym for that last
Yeah,
time, though.
we were going to make a Twitter handle for it too, and just have a counter of days.
Days. Yeah, but it
Damo.
reset recently because he came back for that.
I did
what episode?
too.
Oh, the 200th episode. So yeah, we did this back in October last year, where we basically went through a few different news items in a single episode. We couldn't really decide on what one we wanted to focus on, so we decided to go with multiple, and we're doing that again today.
Yeah, so we went with the old Aldo Paso
Yeah.
technique.
Why not
Why not
all of them? Yeah. So we've got three things we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about Splinter Cell because it's back. We're going to talk about NFTs because Ubisoft's Quartz is a thing, and they're starting to become rife in games. And PlayStation PS5s are getting new faceplates. We're going to start in the order that I just recited in there. We're going to start with Splinter Cell because Splinter Cell has been finally announced. It's actually a thing out of Ubisoft's mouth. It's not some bullshit Sam Fisher being squeezed into a mobile game or any of that sort of crap. Straight up, we are getting a Splinter Cell game. What did you think of the whole situation?
I must say, I was disappointed by the video because what they should have done is made everything go dark, and then 3 green lights appear, not just see the goggles straight up. That's just me, because we always used to talk about just things go dark, then all of a sudden 3 green lights. Not
Hey, there's no reason why when the time comes and they finally announce it at E3 or whatever it ends up being, that they can still do that.
yeah. Well, they still got time to do it, but I
They
just
got
thought, I saw the video, I was like, oh, it's Splinter Cell, because I saw the little little triangle.
Yeah,
They're just
the
green.
shape
They're
of
just
the
been
lights.
green, like, come on, Ubisoft. Thought you're better than this.
What'd you make of the overall thing? It's a remake of the original game.
Oh, is it?
What? Yeah. Oh, you thought it was a new one?
I didn't know. I just saw Splinter Cell. I thought, oh, good, finally. They're finally doing something with old Sam instead of him sitting on his couch drinking beer.
Yeah, it's a remake of the original. They, like in, I think it was a press release or maybe in that video, they spoke about how they didn't want to remaster the original because, I don't know, it's maybe, and I think they're right in their logic that it's just not going to work in today's setting. Like that PS2 original Xbox GameCube era sort of stealth doesn't fly when you look at what's happened with Deathloop and Dishonored in recent years.
Or maybe they saw what happened to those Rockstar games that got remastered and thought, see that? Let's not do that.
We'll not get AI to do the job for us because that'll end badly. But I mean, yeah, I think, not to mention, I mean, the last remaster they tried to do, Prince of Persia, and that's still not going so well. Presumably it's back on the right track now and they just need to finish it off. But yeah, the last time they went down that path, it didn't go so well. I think this is the right call to kind of remake a game. I think from the reporting, it sounds like what they do by remaking this will be an opportunity to kind of redefine the franchise, the way we play it, all that sort of thing, so that they can, I don't know, whether they they're remaking that, but then ultimately just the game that comes next is a follow up from Blacklist, or whether they're kind of almost creating, okay, let's just retcon all this stuff and let's remake the first one and then go from there with whatever happens. Like, I'd be curious to kind of see where they go story wise there, but I don't know. I'm just excited that we're getting one. I think at the end of the day,
Yes. Don't care. Like, it's a remake. That's okay. It's a game that came out 20 years ago, or close to 20 years.
Yeah, you're right.
So, get a new audience onto it, new and improved graphics, and hopefully some better controls. Because I do remember the old Splinter Cell. You had to press like 20 different buttons to do the splits.
You had to, it was the claw grip. You really had to work
Claw grip.
everything to try and make it all work. So, I just happen to have an Xbox controller.
No, it's all. I reckon it's good because we get the introduction to Sam Fisher. So if they do make another game, at least you know like the backstory.
Yeah,
If-
they can start
if
square
it-
one.
That's square one. And if there is like things they have to fill in, they'll just do what I think what Assassin's Creed did. They just showed little parts of it, like in Black Flag. Like Black Flag, you didn't have to play 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah,
the
true.
understanding
They
of-
kind of cut in little bits.
Yeah, they could probably just do the same as that.
Yeah, it could work. That'd be interesting. Look, I'm really excited about it, as I mentioned before, and it does sound like, to your point, like it's an opportunity to kind of start from scratch, go from square one, and reinvent the franchise a little bit. We obviously had an episode fairly recently in the last couple of months where we spoke about what we thought a new Splinter Cell could be. Now, I don't think either of us had tipped a remake of the original at the time.
No.
But I still think a lot of those ideas that we had still apply. Like, especially if you are remaking it, it means it, like, okay, your story's still the same, your character's still the same. Hopefully they get Michael Ironside back as the main voice actor. But then you can probably still do all the things that we kind of discussed before. Ubisoft is I don't know. We're going to talk about them in some other areas shortly with the whole NFT stuff. But I don't know. They're maybe a little bit lacking in creativity at the moment. So I could just as easily see them tip into the open world stuff that they've been doing with every other franchise. And this is the same team that's done past titles for Splinter Cell, but they've also most recently done Far Cry 6 and Watch Dogs Legion. So they've got they've got open world skills. I'm okay with them still leaning into it a little bit as long as they show a bit of restraint.
Yeah, and also they've had a few other games that haven't been great either. So
Yeah,
maybe move to something else like Ghost Recon. Hasn't been great for a while. Just put that to rest and just work on Splinter Cell or something.
well, speaking of Ghost Recon not being all that great, the NFT
yeah.
conversation.
Oh no.
This week, or no, probably in the last 2 weeks actually. I think we're slightly behind because we had Game Awards stuff to do last week. Ubisoft announced Quartz, which is an NFT system that they're implementing in a whole bunch of their games. They are beginning only with Ghost Recon Breakpoint to begin with, which I claimed on Twitter that was a very smart move. Introduce a shitty system that no one wants into a shitty game that no one plays. It's genius. But yeah, it's like NFTs, and it's not just Ubisoft now, but they're kind of the faces of the whole thing at the moment, being the biggest corporate entity that have thrown their weight behind them. They're bringing NFTs into games. What do you think about this idea that we're going to see people trying to buy and swap and sell and all these kind of made up crypto pieces of bullshit?
Stupidest thing I've ever heard of.
Yeah.
Because who knows? Because the problem with digital stuff is it real? I mean, no, well, it's not. But someone could just copy and paste and say, "Yeah, this is mine. Buy it."
So you've actually nailed on something I read, like just the old Twitter scroll while you're sitting on the toilet that I had before.
I think you'll be sort of the exact same thing. Some
The
guy,
person on
he was taking his
DeviantArt?
stuff. Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, the DeviantArt guy. Yeah, I saw that before where he and I don't know, I can't remember who shared it, but obviously you and I both saw it. So someone on DeviantArt has had their work stolen. People are sharing it around as an NFT, and it's happening to a lot of their art. And they've just almost to the point where I'm just going to have to shut my DeviantArt down because I can't keep up with all these people that are doing this stuff, trying to make a claim to get it torn down or whatever. So, I mean, that's that. We're not going to see that when it comes to the game side of things, but it tells you all you need to know about the culture and behavior of those who are getting invested in NFTs. It's just scraping the bottom of the barrel bullshit, really.
Yeah. So, what would you call it quartz for? Because
It's something
I
you
think
mine. Quartz is something
well,
you mine, and that's
well,
kind of
I
in that
think I think of
Bitcoin
it.
sort of mold.
Well, I think of it as a watch.
Oh, okay. Yeah, right.
I'm surprised the old Quartz watch company doesn't come in and go, "Oi, Ubisoft,"
You're giving us a bad name. Get out of here.
or everyone just goes to the watch. Or it might be a thing where they go, "Oh, that reminds me, I need a watch," instead of because it's in a shitty game.
Well, they'll be happy if that's the case.
Yeah, Quartz will be all over, or Quartz, the watch company, will be all over it. Like,
Yeah,
"Oh, thanks, Ubisoft. We're taking all your money."
yeah. We saw another case of the NFT business in games this week as well. Stalker 2, which you might remember from. I mean, Stalker itself is
Oh yeah, I do know Stalker.
10
Yeah,
to 13 or something years old, but
the Russian one.
yeah, but Stalker 2's on the way. It's been at the last, I think, 2 Xbox E3s, at least this year for sure.
Yes.
And they announced and then walked back the fact that they were gonna, like, they announced that they were gonna have some NFTs in there. They were gonna function exactly the same as what Ubisoft's trying to do with Quartz, and then the community lost their shit and they've walked it back. So good on the community for that. But do you see a company like Ubisoft doing the same?
Probably because they never listen. I know they do sometimes listen to their audience, but
I think they're going to
No.
stick to their guns.
I don't think they're going to listen to them this time around.
No.
Unless people don't buy it, then they're just going to keep doing it.
But the same crypto, and everyone keeps calling them crypto bros. I don't like. I guess it's the same sort of
Crypto bros.
dude bro
I feel
douchebags.
old.
But no, like
Seems like a young man's game.
well, yes, I think it is. But like even no, just this is just people on the outside, which is referring to them like in a derogatory way as crypto bros. Like just they're douchebags. They're being referred to as crypto bros, and like they're. I don't know. Yeah, yes, I think it's a young man's game, but it just takes a very specific sort of thing. Like, one of the things that Ubisoft was trying to say is that the way we've got it designed means you need to put hundreds of hours into the game in order to be eligible for them. And everyone's going, well, they'll just set up bots to do it for them. And then they'll just be farming this stuff and selling it on to the next dumbass who's stupid enough to buy one, to buy it off them.
Staring at those young kids who just like, oh, I need to get that. It's like, well, I was gonna say it's like Pokemon, but that's not true.
No, it's like cosmetics in video games, like your Fortnite
Yes.
cosmetics. It's that, except that whatever you buy is going to be unique to you, kind of. Like it might be like 1 pixel different. That's their way of justifying a different sale. Like it's
One different
sorry,
colour.
not even no, actually, sorry, same picture, but it might be a different code on it, because that's all it is. It's about the code, the embedded code. NFTs are shit, and anyone who's involved with them, if you're watching and listening to this show, please never watch or listen to this show again. We don't want you.
No, I'm not against that. Just like, yeah, go away. Don't you dare. I mean, I was watching the South Park episode the other day, and I tried to talk about NFTs. And I've
Oh,
never
were
been
they?
So,
I'm a
I've
bit behind
never.
them.
It's like that. No, it's like one of those the COVID special ones.
Oh yeah, I still haven't seen that yet.
Yeah, and one was talking about NFTs. I've never been so confused in my life of what an NFT is.
Well, they're taking the piss out of the whole thing, which just makes it even
Yeah,
harder to
they're just
understand what
absolutely
they even
mocking
are.
Yeah, just all people buying these stupid NFTs for no reason.
Like non-fungible tokens. What does fungible mean?
I don't know. It's must be something to do with the young kids these days. I have to ask one of them. You're a school teacher. Go ask them what a fungible means. Maybe next year, because
Yeah, I've sent them all packing for the year. I'm not chatting to
sent them
any of
away for
them
the
for a
year.
while. Get out of my hair. I don't want to do with you.
First thing next year, right? What's a fungible? What is?
Yeah. What does it
describe-
mean for something? Oh, I'll Google it in the meantime. But
Ask an English teacher or something. See if
someone
they
in the
can-
comments clarify for us what it means for a token to be non-fungible. What does it mean for it to be fungible? I don't know.
Give us it in the Jeopardy type answer.
Yeah.
What is a
Yeah.
fungible?
Yeah, that'll work. Speaking of things that people didn't really ask for or want, but they're getting them anyway. They're more expensive than they should be. This is a bad segue. We discussed it beforehand what the segue should be, and I've butchered it. We're talking about PS5 faceplates now. Sony have announced a series of 3 different controller colors and 5 new faceplates for PS5 that are all going to be, some of it coming out in January, others a little bit later into next year. Have you seen the range that they've added?
Yes.
What do you think?
They could have picked some better colors. Well, we got baby blue, pink, purple, black.
Purple looks
Black's probably-
sweet. I've ordered a purple one.
Well, The black one, and then there's another one. I don't know what. The
Yeah,
other
they've
one
got So there's the stocks. I guess if you want to go through all the colors, and this will apply for the plates as well. There's the white, the default white, which everyone gets. It was midnight black, or what they called midnight black. Actually, I'm not even going to put the things at the beginning there because I can't remember. Red,
blue.
the blue that you mentioned, the baby blue, the neon pink, and then the purple, which, to be fair, is just like our
Purple
friends at
looks
Pop Culturist purple.
PC purple.
Exactly. So go support the Pop Culturists if you're not familiar with them. I'm talking about their awesome base out of Geelong, good friends of the show. But yeah, they've announced those for both controller form and plates,
Crying kid.
and plates for the console. So. Look, I kind of like them. As I said, I've ordered a purple one. I got myself, and this is before the whole D brand, like a knockoff company that was creating PS5 plates. I ordered some black ones anyway, but I won't lie. Despite how expensive these official ones are, I ordered some of those.
How much are?
I'm going to quickly double check.
Because when they were advertising it, they never showed the price of it, and that sort of gives me a red flag straight up. Going,
yeah, it's not cheap.
They're going to be expensive.
I'm pretty sure it was like wait, brace yourself. These are two pieces of plastic, one that goes on either side of the PlayStation. I'm just checking my order history now. $85
For two bits of plastic.
two pieces of plastic.
Is that all? I mean, I could just get some Glad wrap and just do the exact same thing.
Color it in texture. Get a permo. Do it there. Yeah, I got what was referred to as the Galactic Purple controller. That's because that's the one my wife took the most liking to. But again, Pop C purple, and the official black plates. Just because the ones that I got are a little bit on the flimsy-ish side, so I can toss them out and get some proper ones on there. But I guess the main thing I wanted to pick your brain about is that they've now obviously started, like they highlighted when they went after D-Brand with the cease and desist, which didn't work because they'd made enough little changes to the main model to ensure that they couldn't be sued or get given a cease or desist or any of that sort of thing. But do you see, in a similar sort of style to what Xbox 360 used to have with the faceplates on the front there, do you see this kind of becoming the beginning of a whole bunch of different plates and those things, not just in colors, but maybe instead of buying your special edition Horizon Forbidden West console, you can get
the faceplate.
Yeah, you can get the faceplates.
Well, it'd be a lot cheaper, that's for sure.
Might be cheaper. It might be cheaper on on its own, but I reckon you'd get I'd go out and buy my Horizon plates, and then God of War rolls along. I'm like, all right, I'll buy the God of War Ragnarok plates, and all of a sudden, there's on top of the black ones I've already bought. That's already $200 and something I've spent on plates.
Yeah, then you get your Last of Us plates.
And I feel like that could be how they get you, because they're not going to get everyone to buy a new console, but they might be able to convince far more people to spend $85, or I think it's US 55, on a series of plates. What do you think about that sort of approach? In terms of on the Sony side, in terms of maybe potentially clever marketing, but also as a consumer being like, oh, well, I can spend $85 on the one that I want.
Yeah, but then you sort of don't think after a while when you have 10 of them and go, wow, I've got too many plates. What do I do?
Yeah. I mean, look, you could mix and match.
Yeah, well, you got one PlayStation and you got 10 plates. What do you do?
Yeah, you can mix and match a little bit. Like, you could obviously just rotate them in and out if that's what you want. But also you could go...
Will they come apart?
Horizon on one side. Yeah, you just rip the plates off.
Rip it and just cut it off with some scissors.
They kind of detach pretty easily. They even went through like a thorough tutorial back at the beginning as how to do it, and even like how to use a vacuum to clean out the dust and all that sort of stuff. It was very, very specific when they when they did a teardown before the PS5 even launched. But I mean, you could even go down the path of having... If I just use Horizon and God of War as the ones that are the two big ones that are supposed to be out next year, you could have Horizon on one half and God of War on the other. Like, you could take one half of each of your two different plates and slick them on either side. So like, there's opportunities for people to mix and match kind of however they want. I do think it's a really good opportunity, and for fans that are in love with a particular franchise or whatever, like, it's not a bad opportunity to update the look of your console. I don't think I'll do too much of it because of the same reason I never buy a special edition PS5. It's just or sorry, like console in the past. It sits under my entertainment unit and mostly can't be seen. So what's the big deal? The black is just because the white is so obnoxious and in your face. The black just kind of helps it disappear in the
everyone's used to a black PS5 because that's what color it's been for the last 20 years, pretty much. And then all of a sudden it goes white, and everyone's like, "Oh my god, it's terrible." That just if it was black, everyone would think it'd be the greatest thing ever.
Exactly. So they've probably taken on a whole bunch of different pre-orders for the black one, probably more than anything else, because people have been making that argument for a while. I'll just check all those other colors just for the sake of our conversation.
Cosmic blue.
Yeah, cosmic red was the red one I was looking for. Midnight black, like I said before, then galactic purple, starlight blue, and nova pink. And the thing to keep in mind also on the side of the plates is that there's the plates for the disc-based version and the discless version. So you've got two different variants there because you've got two different versions of the console that are different shapes. So they've got to have them all. So you're going to find people that are picking up the wrong, or that retail gives them the wrong plates. They get home, they go to put it on, they realize, hang on, this has a disc drive, but I'm discless, or vice versa. So it's going to get messy. But
then the other question you have to ask is, PS5 plates or Super Duper flavor?
Or let's just roll through all the super duper different flavors. That'd be cool. Actually, they're pretty close with what they're starting so far. By the way, and I just sorted on the PS5 pre-order page on EB Games, I sorted not by release date, but I sorted by popularity. The number one item on the store right now is the black plates for the disc-based console. That's above some of next year's biggest releases like Elden Ring, Horizon, Uncharted, The Legacy of Thieves Collection, Forspoken, Gran Turismo. Like, it's ahead of all of them.
Is that embarrassing? Every game's getting outdone by some faceplates.
By 3 different sets of plates. So the
how many are purchased by scalpers?
God knows this. Well, they're still available for pre-order, so not too many. And the 3 new controls are also more popular than any game at the moment. So
colors, the power of colors.
Cosmetic. I guess we just discussed it with the NFT stuff. Like, cosmetic still gets people.
PS2 blue, you wait for that. The dark blue, and everyone will go crazy for that.
Yeah, probably.
And then PlayStation 1 grey. No one will buy that because no one ever wanted the bloody PS1 Classic.
I guess we still saw a little bit of it too with the Switch, like people buying new Joy-Cons and those sorts of things.
Well, was that because they stopped working, or
not just because of drift? I especially went out to go get the Mario red ones when Odyssey came out.
Did you also get the Zelda ones as well?
And I got the Zelda ones, yeah. And now I've got white because I've got the Switch OLED. So, and I bought my wife what did I get her over the journey? I got her the Splatoon ones because she was really into kind of that neon pink and kind of flashy, kind of neon-y green. And then recently I traded in a whole bunch of consoles to get her the Animal Crossing one.
Oh, didn't know that was the Animal Crossing one.
Yeah, so her old launch console out the door, and
jeez, you're just getting consoles everywhere.
Yeah, but we're still like barely spending anything thanks to the help that Nintendo provided with the review unit. It meant that my old one was just going to gather dust, so I turned it in. Same sort of deal for my wife. Yeah. Turn her old one in to get the new one.
The out of date. You can't review games on this Switch.
Oh yeah. Let's. That's a whole thing. I won't kick around too much. On that
your Switch? About 4 years. Sorry, you can't review this game.
Yeah.
Too bad. But hey, since we like you, here's one. We'll give you this one instead.
Yeah.
Oh, thank.
Any other thoughts on, since we are doing kind of an open topic sort of episode here? Is there anything else that's gone on in games that you wanted to hit on? We did have a Nintendo Indie World this week as well.
Oh, I didn't even watch it.
Did you catch up with that one? Anything? Oh, okay.
I thought there were games. I thought, oh yeah, cool. There's some indie games. I just kept scrolling. I didn't actually know there was a presentation of it.
Yeah, right. Okay, so I guess I'll shout out one there, being Sea of Stars, which comes from Sabotage Studio, the people who made The Messenger. Did you play The Messenger the other year?
No.
Oh, go play The Messenger. I think you'll love The Messenger actually. But to the point where, like, even when I did a review for it, I didn't, and this was before we had scores, but the whole idea is that like the messenger was delivering a message as they kind of do. It was like a scroll, so I actually made like the whole review on a scroll. It was like the only particularly creative writing thing that I've ever done at Player 2. But I thought I was a bit of a genius for it. But anyway, their new game, Sea of Stars, which when I was talking to one of their studio heads for Dev Diary, well before the game was even announced, he was talking about how he was really into Chrono Trigger, the Super Nintendo classic RPG. And unsurprisingly, now that the game's been announced, it's basically a Chrono Trigger. Right down to the fact they even got the composer along to create music for the game. So, like, they're really leaning into that. So that was a cool thing from the direct. But yeah, from the indie world. But is there anything else at all that's even just on the mind in the gaming space, whether it's news or not? Want to shout at some company for having done something you don't like?
No, since the Rockstar, I'll just laugh at Rockstar for having to go at CD Projekt Red for criticising them for their rubbish Cyberpunk launch, and then they go stuff it up with their remaster launch. So,
that's fair.
Nice work, Rockstar.
That went well. What else? I was gonna have a crack at someone. And I think you'll appreciate this one more than else, more than most people. On the Play 2 website, we've started our kind of Game of the Year awards, but the most recent one that went up was the most disappointing. Now, GTA did get some love from me, but you will appreciate that Matt Hewson also had a crack at NBA 2K for them continuing to get worse. So,
good. Also, I saw some guy put Deathloop up, and I thought that was great.
In the most disappointing?
Yeah.
Was it?
I believe it was. Could have been Dylan. It might have been Dylan.
Yeah, that sounds like something Dylan would do, but I didn't know.
Put the most disappointed as Deathloop. I thought, here we go.
And
everyone else was like, I thought, there we go.
Biggest surprise. We'll go through everything that's been announced as of when we record this for people. So we've had 2 different categories so far: the biggest surprise and the biggest disappointment. Biggest surprise: Dylan Burns went for Returnal. Jess Zammett went for Sherlock Holmes Chapter 1. Matt Hewson went for Chorves. Rob Cabaretto went for Retro Reissue Love, which I can't say that I'm familiar with at all, but I guess that's what makes it a surprise. Stephen Del Prado went with Epic Links with Neon Falcon. Anyway, the whole bit, whatever. I went for Returnal as well, so Returnal got the most love in there, and Chris Lawn went for Inscription. As for the disappointments that you just kind of acknowledged a moment ago, Matt made a typo. Old Paul Jams went for Grand Theft Auto Trilogy.
Paul Jams.
Chris Lawn went for the industry's upper management, so he's having a crack at both Activision Blizzard and Ubisoft for their cultural issues. Dylan Burns, you're right, went for Deathloop. Holy shit. Maybe he's just I'm not going to read through his little piece right now on the show, but maybe he's just a big Dishonored fan, so this felt worse in comparison, which a few people have said. Really? Rob Caparetto, the Shadow of Crypto. So there we go. So he referenced Ubisoft Quartz. He talks about what's going on with Epic Games Store. He's talked about what did we just say? Stalker before. Matt Hewson, NBA 2K22, and Stephen Del Prado, no next-gen Cyberpunk. So that's everything we've had so far, but keep your eyes out for the best indie and the best AAA. Those will both go live possibly by the time that you've seen this episode.
Let's be honest, we already know what your best indie is.
Yes, because I miss. Yes, it's Death's Door. It's Death's Door.
We haven't talked about it enough this year,
and we haven't talked about it nearly enough. I'm still replaying it on the PS5, like even earlier today, actually. But and also, I forgot how the categories went, and so I actually thought it was like the ones we've discussed: best indie and then game of the year. So I doubled up and went with Death's Door again. The final category is best AAA title. So I'm going to have to rewrite that one and have to just
see if anyone. But that was Paul.
Matt's
James's
already noticed.
Paul.
That was Paul. Yeah, good point. Paul James' fault.
Blame Paul Jams for that one.
He's a shitty writer.
Terrible.
All right. On that note, we'll wrap things up. There's a little bit of padding at the end, just to give us a longer episode. No, we're doing just fine anyway. We've hit on three topics there. I still, I don't know how often we'll do it, but I still enjoy this format when we can just kind of go quick fire with some stuff. It works. We'll get the segues better.
When we just have more than one thing during the week, which was this week.
But nothing that's huge that would take the entire episode. So it works pretty well for us. If you enjoyed this episode, please be sure to like, share, and subscribe. All the buttons down below. Hit the notification bell. That way you're alerted to every new video the moment it goes live on the channel. That includes more patched, Player 2 plays, Gamer School, and a whole bunch more. There's some awesome stuff there, so please subscribe and go and check it out. Visit the website, player2.net.au, for reviews, previews, opinion pieces, news, features, links to the podcast series, Patch, the Player 2 Pixelcast, and Dev Diary. We're on Patreon, patreon.com/player2au. You get a few bucks, lower tiers early access, higher tiers monthly episode exclusives. And finally, there's Twitter, Matto.
Matto_Phil.
Paul James Games for me. That is our final episode for 2021.
Was that Paul Jams Games?
Paul James Games. That was our final episode for 2021. So thank you again to everyone who's joined us over the course of the year, for joining us for episode 200 recently, for the ridiculous number of you who tuned in to mine and Matt Hewson's review of Forza Horizon 5, which is basically tracking at about 3 times the best episode that we've ever had of the core show. So for some reason, people really wanted to hear what we had to say about Forza. Maybe we'll just do every episode about Forza going forward, Matto. What do you think?
Just have a Forza cast.
Yeah, let's do it.
Talk about what'd you do with Forza this week? Oh yeah, just
accelerated a bit,
drove around the beach, drove out of the beach, ran over some trees, destroyed someone's fence.
It'll work a treat.
Got a car. That was pretty much my week in Forza.
Thanks, Matto, for the year. It's been good again. Damo, wherever you might be, rest in peace.
You're forgetting one more person. Our number one fan that joined us earlier.
Oh, of course, yeah, Jamie, for coming on that episode as well. That was fantastic. And I don't know if we had anyone else pop in to help us along the way, or for any like standalone ones or anything like that. But I guess everyone who's kind of jumped in for the review discussions and that sort of thing since we've started running those on the patch feed in the last few months as well on the audio side. Thank you to all of those who've jumped in to help out as well. It has been awesome. I've loved having you all on the show. I think we even had a spoiler cast, so the first episode of anything that's on the patch feed that doesn't have me was the Psychonauts 2 spoiler cast there, because I still haven't played Psychonauts 2 yet. I'm surprised that one didn't do better, considering I wasn't on it.
Maybe
I
that's
figured
why
everyone would be super keen to see the back of me, but anyway, it's still doing pretty well, but not Forza numbers. Thanks to everyone for the year. It's been awesome, Matto. Yeah, thanks to you for all the awesome work this year, and I hope everyone has themselves a great break, and we'll see you in a few weeks' time. We think on January 11th. See you later.
If we're not there January 11th,
try the 12th.
January 18th, we'll be back.
Yeah, something like that. It'll be sometime between now and the end of January. We'll see you later.